Afternoon. I'm Eric Schneiderman, the New York State Attorney General, and thank you for being here. I'm standing here with colleagues, Valerie Singleton, who is the head of our Nassau Regional Office, also with people we are very proud to be working with on our efforts at protecting homeowners and helping victims of Hurricane Sandy. Kristen Keefe from Empire Justice, Joan LaFemina from CDC, and two homeowners who we're very, very happy to have here with us, and we'll speak to you later, Patricia DuPont and Timothy Tolan. So I'm here really for two reasons. The first is to announce the results of our Homeowner Protection Program, which has just gone into effect in the last 6 months, and from our post-Sandy Recovery Initiative, which has gone into effect more recently. It was really an expansion of the HOPP program on Long Island to help hurricane victims. We've had some impressive results, but we want more customers. We want more homeowners to be in touch with us. We want more people to get the relief that is now available to them. I'd first like to welcome some of our Homeowner Protection Program, or HOPP grantees, who are here. I believe we have representatives of, we have representatives of CDC, Community Development Corporation of Long Island, Economic Opportunity Council of Suffolk, Green Path, Labor and Industry for Education, the Long Island Housing Partnership, the Nassau County Bar Association, well represented, Nassau Suffolk Law Services, the NILAG, the New York Legal Assistance Group, thank you, and the Truro Law Center, and of course our anchor partners at Empire Justice. My approach and our office's approach to dealing with the financial institutions that were a part of the collapse of the mortgage market, and bearing some responsibility for that, and we're also part of the post-collapse crisis in foreclosure abuses, has been somewhat different than taken by other states. We are here with our HOPP grantees because we made a determination very early to invest first in infrastructure and take very effective housing, counseling, and legal services programs that had been defunded, refund them and revitalize them so that New York homeowners would have the advantage when they were dealing with banks, many of whom are offering a lot of different programs to modify loans. They would have the advantage of having the lawyers and counselors who could help guide them through the system. And the HOPP grantees that are here are a part of this broad effort we're taking around the state, but I think our approach has now demonstrated that if you want to get the most out of dealing with these institutions, you have to have counsel, you have to have the people who can help guide you through, and I think that the homeowners that are here to tell their stories, along with thousands of others across the state, can bear witness to that fact. As some of you probably know, we took a very aggressive posture when I became Attorney General about the bank's role in the financial crisis. It resulted in the President asking me to be one of the chairs of a joint task force to investigate the collapse of the housing market and the mortgage market. And it also, as we've brought cases against banks, we've also settled other cases as we've gone. And we've made a major commitment here from some of our settlement funds to build this infrastructure to protect New York homeowners, dedicating $60 million over 3 years to ensure that there are housing counselors and lawyers available in all parts of New York State. The first year's $20 million, I think 3.1, 3.2 million went to agencies on Long Island, and we finally started, this money started flowing last October, and we have the results that are very, very encouraging. But first, let me say something about the scope of the problem. There has never been a collapse of the housing market like the one we experienced in 2007 and 2008 in the United States. And the areas of our state and the areas of our country that had the biggest boom are the areas that had the biggest bust. And so Long Island was particularly hard hit in New York State, and we are very much committed to working with our colleagues here to ensure that no New Yorker is ever wrongfully foreclosed on because they did not have access to counsel. When I became Attorney General, half of the people who were going through foreclosure proceedings did not have the chance to talk to counsel at any phase of those proceedings. And I take pride in being a lawyer and being the people's lawyer, but I've made a commitment that on my watch, no one's going to ever have to go through that again. And because we're investing in this, we are having really significantly better results than a lot of other states. We estimate that more than 25,000 loans are in foreclosure, and more than 17,000 homeowners are 90 or more days delinquent on Long Island. That's statistics from last year from the Federal Reserve. We've also gathered that about 1 in 10 Long Island homeowners are really at risk of foreclosure. Those are big numbers. So we are prepared to back up our commitment with the resources. We're not done pursuing the financial institutions yet. These are not our last settlement dollars, but we're planning to use this to help the people who really were hurt the worst and are most at risk. The statistics about foreclosures are grim, but it's also important to recognize that a foreclosure is not just a blow to a particular family. It is a blow to the community. It is a blow to our state. Foreclosures require people to uproot, pull kids out of school, begin the process of rebuilding their lives. They often have a ripple effect. We've seen communities in which housing prices generally were depressed as a result of some foreclosures. Crime rates in some cases go up. And our Homeowner Protection Program is designed to reverse this trend. In the first 3 months of the program, October, November, and December of last year, more than 3,600 families were seen by HOPP counselors and agencies across the state. 1,800 of them already have received or have been conditionally approved for loan modifications that will enable them to stay in their home. So we're working at a rate of close to 50% success in only a 3-month period. We expect these numbers to grow, and we want them to grow. It's good for everyone in the state to keep as many people as possible in their homes. And I argue with my friends in financial services, it's in their interest too. You're better off modifying a loan and having a family in their home who can pay off $200,000 mortgage than to have a $250,000 mortgage headed towards default. So I think this is good for everyone, and we're working hard to make sure everyone understands that. On Long Island, of course, we had an additional challenge. In addition to being a part of the state that was very hard hit by the mortgage crisis and the foreclosure crisis, we have FEMA estimates that up to 10% of all the households on Long Island were damaged in some way by Hurricane Sandy. In many cases, there were homeowners who'd gotten through really the worst of the crash, really making every possible effort to stay current on their mortgages, and Sandy was just one blow too many. We therefore expanded for Long Island our HOPP program and put extra money up to 7 of our HOPP providers here to launch what we call the Post-Sandy Recovery Initiative. We're expanding the legal services and housing counseling that's available, helping people deal with issues related to insurance, situations such as when the insurance company gives the bank money that the homeowner should get and the bank doesn't pass it along, denials of insurance claims, unnecessary delays. What we're starting to see are homeowners coming forward, starting to figure out that they're getting less money than they should get. So we're committed to helping people on Long Island deal with this double tragedies, with the mortgage collapse and with Sandy, and we will invest the money necessary to make sure that New Yorkers are protected. We're backing up our HOPP network with the folks from our office when they have cases of really severe fraud, and Valerie and the folks in our Nassau office and other offices are very much focused on people who take advantage of victims, try and re-victimize them with scams where they're telling folks that they can help them with their mortgages if only people will sign title over to them, and other really despicable tactics. It's taking advantage of people who really are at their lowest point and have been victims already, and try and re-victimize them is totally unacceptable, and we're working very hard to do that, and we're working hard to get the word out, which is the other major purpose of today's press conference. As proud as we are of the thousands of people we've helped, we want more. I want to hear from our HOPP providers that they need additional funds because they've got so many people coming in. I know our providers here in the Post-Sandy Recovery Initiative have already done more than 118 events across Long Island, reaching out to people and community leaders to get the word out that this help is available. We will continue to do that, but we want to make sure that every New Yorker has a champion to stand up for them, that no one has to go through something as frightening as the prospect of losing your home, the foreclosure process, alone. And we will provide the resources. We have the people with incredible skills who were, in some cases, some of these agencies were on the verge of shutting down just because of the state's fiscal problems and the budget crisis. I'm a strong believer that the right to counsel is the right that protects every other right, and that we will continue to work to build this network. And I think that the results that you're going to see in the years ahead are going to reflect the wisdom of this strategy. So I do want to make sure that everyone is clear about the fact that in addition to us setting up this network of service providers, of housing counselors and lawyers, part of the settlements with different institutions include their commitment to do loan modifications. There are a lot of programs available. Some of them are federal programs, some of them are voluntary programs by banks, some of them are done through settlements. There are rate reductions, there are principal write-downs, there are all sorts of renegotiations available, but it's only a smart consumer is one who talks to a lawyer or a housing counselor. There are people who try to go to a bank over and over again and can't figure out how to get the right result, and we've heard many times that our counselors are able to get that result for them. So we have the outreach programs going on. We have a consumer hotline for those in need. The number is 855-466-3456. We've also now expanded our ease of access by working along with the statewide helpline. You can call 211 from anywhere in New York State now and get connected to a HOPP counselor or legal services provider. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We want to make sure everyone takes advantage of these programs, and that if banks are offering benefits, I want New Yorkers at the at the head of the line for those benefits. So with that, I'd like to introduce one of the hardworking housing counselors that we've been lucky to have as a part of the HOPP program. Joan LaFemina is a housing counselor who works for Community Development Corporation of Long Island, HOPP grantee, and one of the organizations that has been showing leadership on our Sandy Assistance Initiative. So thank you, and thanks to Patricia and Timothy for being here and telling their stories. We want to do everything we can do to make sure that every homeowner who is eligible for relief gets relief. We're very proud of our HOPP grantees. They do great work. You do not have to call one of these scam artists who are preying on people. We want to make sure that access is easy. Again, we have our 1-855 number. We also, you can just call 211 anywhere in the state. We're committed to this. You will see me here. I'll be in Long Island a lot over the course of the months ahead to make sure that the program is implemented well. Again, I believe the right to counsel is the right that guards every other right, and we will make sure that no New Yorker is wrongfully foreclosed on because they can't get to a housing counselor or a lawyer. That's our commitment to you, and as you can see, we have great partners in making that happen. We just need everyone who is eligible to find out about it. So thank you very much for being here with us today, and I guess we'll take some questions. Thank you. You've answered everything. All right. Well, thank you all very much, and thank you again. And we'll be seeing more of each other in the months ahead.